Welcome back to Pop Goes to Stack, where roadmaps are aspirational fiction and it worked in staging is a jump scare. I am Lori MacVittie, here to translate optimism into outage timelines. You're going to have to put up with just me today because Joel is off getting fine-tuned. Yes, AI agent Joel is getting fine-tuned. It's my story and I'm sticking with it. And today we have Kunal back. Hi, Kunal.
Hi, Lori. I'm here to get RL'd.
Yeah. Wait, this was your idea to talk about, so I'm glad you actually made it back on to talk about it. Remember the comment, the agent ate my homework? Yeah. So we want to talk about that because, recently an AI agent deleted a production database and all the backups. If you were on the internet, you heard about it and everybody had their commentary about what went wrong. But here's the thing. I think a lot of it was just wrong because somewhere there was a person. Somebody gave it API access. Somebody put the keys where they did. Somebody did something. And I think we keep approaching this as we just need more and more and more controls. And what we really need are things like, I don't know, boundaries. Like you can never do X. You can only do Y. Things that stop it when it tries to do what it's going to do. Right?
Are we going to talk about boundaries and polygons? This is going to be
amazing. Oh my goodness! now we're jumping into like beyond that. That's for another. But it is right. I really believe boundaries are the way. I mean, and you mentioned in the pre-show that people are moving toward kind of that approach. I mean, you mentioned it. What did Microsoft do recently?
Yeah, so at Build they introduced these agent primitives into their operating system. And I think they really wrapped it more I think it's more tightly coupled to OpenClaw. But what's super cool is you can now designate all sorts of permissions. Because one of the challenges has been like an agent erroneously will perform a task. Could be like deleting files accidentally or making network calls when it shouldn't. And the way that we've seen, I would say, companies, projects, open source things kind of evolve over the last several months was, let's try and bake things as close as possible around the workload. Then let's try and embed things into or around the operating system. But now what we're really seeing with Microsoft's most recent kind of chess move is you can now kind of bake things directly into Windows, which is mind-blowing to me, right? Like the fact that like you can prevent like your desktop files from getting deleted. It's a really cool demo. I would recommend that everyone kind of goes and watches Build. It's kind of fascinating.
Well, and we needed that. I mean, this is good not just for agents, but also for people. I mean, how many times is someone right? Like, oh, I didn't mean that. Like, how do I get that back? Well, you can't. It's too late.
The average agent is the average agent smarter than the average human.
I'm not sure. I guess that depends on the day, on the day. But I mean, they're building in like these fences. Like, here's this fence that says you can't do this, you can't do that. You need your mom's permission to do that, and that's coming. Somebody's permission at least.
Everyone just clicks yes, though, right? But everyone just clicks yes all the time.
But then you have no one you can't go back and say, well, I didn't, because you did. It's like then you have to learn to read.
This is like the title for like a future episode is like no one the title of that episode is no one ever clicks no.
They don't. You don't. You click acknowledge, you click I read it, you click submit, you just don't. You're like yes.
Yeah, just do it. Do the thing. I asked you to vibe code. Do it, please.
That's right. Do the thing. But when we look at what we're doing with these agents, it's like we think that they have all of these constraints and we forget that their number one operating premise is do the thing I was told to do. Yeah. And there's not a lot of constraints. I mean, people say, oh, well, system prompts or that's guidance. That's like, it's guidance. It's like if you tell your toddler, hey, don't ride your bike in dangerous places. Like, it's like, okay. And he goes on the road because you weren't specific enough with it. It's guidance. And you can't really rely on things like system prompts or other kinds of like logic to constrain them. You have to do it externally. Something else is going to have to do it.
So I want to ask you, since last time we spoke, what has Lori's adventures with agents look like? What have you been doing with agents? And we'll start there.
Getting very, very angry. They're pretty
Oh,
limited, right? I mean, they're just
interesting.
like,
Yeah, yeah. Keep going.
I
I
mean,
want to hear.
so you look at things like Copilot, right? Copilot's everywhere. It's easy one.
Yeah,
It's like you can build an agent, but the agent is really just a chatbot inside a Teams channel. So it can look at documents and it can't do anything else. I'm like, well,
yeah.
that's not an agent. That is a highly evolved script. Thank you very much. The Copilot, functionality and agents inside Outlook are actually like sandbox off
Yeah.
from the email. Like it can't actually read your email. It can't. No, no, no. So it can't actually like do any of the things that you were like, there are so many productive things I could do if I could have an agent do X and Y and Z, but integration is a problem,
Yeah.
which is always true for any technology at the beginning. And right, they seem to, right now they're hamstringing them, right? They're just like, I'm going to tighten you down so far that you're useless. And that's kind of frustrating. So you have to go to something like OpenClaw. Well, then you run into other worries and concerns like, okay, well, now I have to have a little bit more tech savvy to do this. I have to understand the environment. I have to be able to
Yeah.
set it up and maintain it. And so, yeah, my adventures have been frustrating, very much
My
so.
Mine have been frustrating as well. So I feel like we're going to commiserate a lot on this episode, which is cool. So I'll start on the work side of things because to your point, um, a lot of the capabilities that we have in like other organizations, we're a Microsoft shop and we use Copilot, right? And uh, using Copilot to build agents has been just absurdly primitive. Like it's just basically I'm going to call it what it is. It's not even prompt engineering. You saying like including the word engineering with that word prompt is like a total joke. Like it's like prompt munging and then like you just have extra context, quote unquote extra context, but like to your point, it can't really read things or do things. There's two super frustrating moments that happened to me in the last like 7 days with this thing. The first was like I went through this process of like filling out like this super detailed prompt of like go and do these things, and it's like what I'm used to doing at home. Like, and we can talk more about like the personal side of things in a bit, but like on the professional side, it was like the super complex prompt, go and execute this task, and I was speaking to the agent. So like I have my wired headphones on and I'm like talking to this agent. People think I'm crazy on the street, and I love it. It's cool. And and I'm doing the thing, and like having a really productive conversation, and then like yes, totally go do the thing, and it comes back and it does the thing, and it's reading out with this sort of giant like set of outline notes and whatnot that I asked it to go and do. I'm asking the work product itself that I was doing with it, obviously for this call, but it it reads it out to me, and I'm like, this is perfect. Like, let's draft that in an email, and it's like, no problem, it's ready for you. And I'm like, okay. I like exit voice mode. There is no transcript of it inside of the chat. I go to Outlook, and there's no draft, and I'm like, I was just talking for nothing for 15 minutes. And it was like literally 15 minutes. And I was like, I got to the outcome. Like I actually got the thing to do what I wanted it to do. I hope everyone is watching the video so they can like see your face right now. But like that happened, and I was like, "Where's my email?" And like so that was my first thing. I like walked. I like not walked back. Like I hopped back into the chat, and I'm so angry. Like I'm not using my voice, thinking like that's the problem. It's like it doesn't want to listen to me or this voice. So I'm like typing in all caps on my phone, which I never do. Anyone who texts me knows like I'm like totally like lowercase pilled on my phone. And by the way, it's not a Sam Altman thing. I've been doing that for like if you've ever texted me, I've been that way for like 15 plus years. But what's crazy is like I'm like all caps on my phone. Like I don't see the draft. Can you please like do that again? And it's like, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, what? Like, what universe are we living in? So like that was like frustrating thing number one, and that's when I was like, this is off the rails here. And then like I was like, done, just done. And number two was like, to your point, like firing up like Copilot in an app like Outlook, and like, hey, I just received an email from Lori. Can you please look at if there's any action items that she wants me to go and solve, or like go and take on? That's a common thing that I do because I get a lot of emails, and I just want to know, like, in the last 24 hours, did I explicitly get called out, and is someone waiting for me to do something? And this thing is so useless. It's like, please copy and paste your emails here, and I'll tell you if anyone has asked you to do something. And I'm like, no, like, my friend, like Clippy had more intelligence than you. Can you live in the like you are presiding over the beachfront real estate that is my inbox. Like, please go on in and go take a look at those emails. Go tour the inbox. Go parse those email headers. Do your thing.
Do the thing. Well, but that's, I think, and I mean, to be fair to Microsoft and anyone building these kinds of systems, they are trying to be, I think, very cautious about approaching what they have access to, knowing that, well, it could write an email from your account, Kunal, and yeah, I mean, that could be disastrous depending on who it went to, right? Or something like that, or delete something important. So they're trying very hard to constrain it using the tools that we have, which is no access, right? No integration. Which is why I always go back to, if we're going to make this work, we have to give it boundaries. No, you can't send an email. You could only draft an email, right? So that I can hit send later, right? So that there's, I know this went out. Or, you can't delete it. You can only put it in the to be deleted queue, the trash bin, those kinds of things. Because we've all had it, like, lose the context, right? Or it gets to the end. I've had chats so long that it's like, oh, you're done. You have to start a new one. So you start a new one. You're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, well, how am I supposed to continue the conversation in another chat?
I have a pro tip for you for that. By the way, like,
okay, all right.
Okay, you ready for this?
Yes.
This works so great. Get ready for this one.
Okay.
So the first thing I tried was like, okay, can I paste the link to the chat that I'm in a new chat? It doesn't do it for obvious reasons. But you know what works? Save the old chat as a PDF.
Oh!
And when you start the new chat, it totally works. It totally works.
Okay. Oh wait, I still have the old one, so I could go and grab it, and then it would have all.
I just did it. I just did this. I just did this last week because, like you, I was like, okay, I'm like slogging through a bunch of stuff, and I'm like going back and forth, and I'm like, cool. We're like, same thing again. We're about to get to the point. And then it's like, I ran out of context. I'm so sorry. And you're just like, why can't you just do this thing? Hey, Lori, we're getting our first ad read actually right now. 1 second. Pop Goes the Stack is brought to you by Microsoft Copilot 365. Just kidding. I know we're dunking on Microsoft here.
I am so confused at the moment. I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
But the point is, like, and this is not to be like, look, I know we're talking about Microsoft a lot in this discussion. It's not just Microsoft. Look, I've experienced this problem with all sorts of agents. At home, I have built agent wrappers, I've built agents, I've built harnesses. Obviously, my experience with OpenClaw. We've talked about it before. I've got multiple agents, less actually OpenClaw these days, and more of kind of like my own variants of it. One day we can talk what I've been building, which has been this weirdo hybrid agent that actually has a way for me to inject logic with WebAssembly, which is super cool. And
Huh.
there was a fun little hacky thing, which was I want a way to like dynamically load new functionality without having to like restart the agent itself. And so it turns out WASMs are a great thing for this. And because
Ah,
I don't really care about perf, and like that doesn't make a difference for
right.
me. I don't really care about that. And so it was a fun little hacky project. But my point is like I'm using OpenClaw less and less these days. I think it was a really good way for me to kind of like learn and understand these things. But underneath the hood, I'm using models. And so went from a subset of my agents, I've got a DGX cluster at home and like a DGX Spark cluster. So it's nice to have some models running locally. Like Google's Gemma models are lovely. Kimi and Quen and all these open models are cool to see on the scene. That said, I also use Claude in some cases. I also use Gemini in other cases. And so when I'm using these models, I'll sometimes run out of context, or I'll run out of tokens, or some frustrating things can sometimes happen where erroneous behavior for sure can happen. And uh, I I don't run these things anymore on my primary systems at all. Ended up kind of coming up with this like weird way to do this, taking an old device, an older laptop, and kind of running my agents directly on it. And it's all sort of tail scaled in my environment. So I can kind of like SSH or just jump to any one of these hosts if I need to like get a task done. But then how do you sufficiently share context? That's the hardest part. Like when you partition these things, how do you then sufficiently share that context? But it's been frustrating. Like I have to tell you, like it's just been super frustrating. And Apple's event is next week. I'm a Mac OS user
Mhm.
and an iPhone and iPad user, Mac, all the things. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Like I think Microsoft sort of shot first, right? Han shot first.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
sorry,
He
had to,
didn't.
had
But
to.
he didn't. He didn't.
We're gonna do
He
this
did
right now,
not.
aren't we?
We're gonna do this
We're
right
gonna
now.
do this right now.
We're gonna throw
Like
down right now. Ham did not shoot first.
Pop Goes the Stack is now going to show up in like a Star Wars subreddit,
Yeah,
and like it's going to be great.
exactly. Right. We started it. So, I mean, it sounds like part of your solution is exactly like what Microsoft is doing already and what other systems are doing, which is some sort of isolation, right? You shouldn't just be throwing agents into production and saying, "Hey, do these things." Like that's the goal, but today they're just not ready for that. There's not enough
Yeah,
control to keep them from doing some crazy thing. And even if they did it right 99 times, that it only takes once to delete everything. Yeah. I mean,
does Clippy have a soul.md? And what would be in it? You got me thinking now. Like what would be in Clippy's soul MD?
We don't know. We don't know. But that's if when you're looking for takeaways, because we ranged all over, but the core seems to be right. They're not really ready for like all out to trust in production. They can do a
Totally.
lot of great things, but don't put them there yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and look, I spend a lot of time obviously with customers, and look, people are now moving more and more of their AI workloads from staging to production. Uh,
Mhm.
the work that you and team did with SOAS is really incredible. And the data that you were able to illuminate and share with everybody is super powerful. Again, a plug for everyone to kind of go back and read the research that F5 put together and really that Lori helped drive. You all should go and take a look at it. But we are seeing more and more enterprises deploy AI to production. But when we are seeing people deploy AI to production, we are not yet, we're not seeing a lot of agents going to production. What we are seeing are AI enhanced or AI powered applications. So people who are augmenting their application to use one of these frontier models or a local model. It doesn't matter. Like that's the primary thing we're seeing right now. And yes, people have agents. For sure they do. In most cases, though, those agents aren't really in production yet. Most of the agents are doing tasks on behalf of employees. So they're improving the employee experience in some cases. It's go fetch a lot of data internally for me, or go sort of correlate a bunch of different data sets and come back to me when you got some answer, or help me build a presentation, or help me build or analyze this financial document. Like, that is normal. Like, we're seeing a lot of that, but we are not yet seeing people deploy those things to a production environment. And I agree with you. Like, we are going to have to really level up to make those things happen. And it's not just, guardrails. It's far more than that. It's, as you describe, as boundaries. And I love that as this abstract concept, because guardrails is only one dimension of this thing. There's so many other types of boundaries that need to be built and defined when you put any one of these workloads into a production or a staging environment. So it's going to be wild and interesting to see this evolve. It's amazing that we had the OpenClaw moment at the beginning of the year, and not even 6 months later, you've got the biggest software company in the world putting OpenClaw and primitives for governing agents directly into its operating system that like 90% of the world uses. And like, that is so wild and crazy to me. So I think when we convene again to kind of talk about agents and whatnot, it's going to be wild to see like what the next evolution is.
Yeah, I think it's a positive step to see, right? Microsoft going, no, the primitives need to be there, and then you can have control over them. Right? Ultimately, that's probably going to be one of the mechanisms you use to enforce those boundaries, to say, no, you cannot do that, agent. But until then, be cautious. I would say, don't be rushing to put it out there. It sounds great, and yeah, it may work a few times, but if it fails just once, the results could be not good, unless you're on Twitter and enjoy being a pundit. I don't know. They seem to have a lot of fun with those things, but
I just wonder though sometimes, like, how much of what we're seeing with AI usage is virtue signaling. And you know what I mean? Like, and I get it. These models are really good, and they're getting better and better and better. Mythos, great example of like a model that can just do so much. But I sometimes wonder when I see people flexing about, well, I've got like 6 agents that work for me or 7 agents that work for me. It's like, I don't know if that passes the sniff test yet. And I think like in some cases, if you are really on top of your game and you know this world extremely well and like you're in the arena, I can see that. But like for the normies of the world, no, you don't have 6 agents working on your behalf yet. Like, because the systems don't exist yet. Like, we haven't cracked the UI UX for this thing yet. I mean, like, we're still in this sort of very primitive chatbot era of AI, which is where we were back in 2022. And I'm excited to see it evolve. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and it will evolve, and it's evolving very fast. So, but we could talk forever. We know that, but we have to get on to another episode. So for this one, that's a wrap. Subscribe now before someone renames the same old problem platform engineering and calls it solved.